Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fractal Effects live stream. Live stream. Please make sure you go over the disclosure. Keep in mind, this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. So if you are following along with us, make sure you do in a demo account. We will be changing it up a little bit today. If there is no high probability of any trade setups by 11:30, we will be signing off. Our goal is to be in a trade 1 hour after the range is formed. We do not want to be trading near lunchtime, and if we're not in a trade again by that 11:30 time, then we do not want to be fishing between 11:30 and noon. Okay, let's jump onto the charts. So currently we are in a bearish trend. We have a downside expansion model from Asia into London. We have a bearish morning. And now the market is slowly pulling back to the 20. Just make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so you know when we're live. So we're right in that golden zone, close to the 20 EMA and the 50 on the 5-minute. Let's see if we get a rejection to the downside. As mentioned before, we are looking at a downside expansion model. Extremely bearish market. US 500 already at the opening New York fair value gap. No confirmation to either side yet. right near the 61. It's one of those days that we're better off just waiting for confirmation instead of even trying to make a bias. London was mostly ranging. We did have some news drop today at 5:30. We do have a red box, and like I said, a downside expansion model. We're under the 238, so we do have a bearish bias, but we have hit some key levels on higher time frames. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did push up from here, but our bias is still bearish until otherwise, until we break the top there of the range and get a bullish confirmation. Right now we're bouncing off the 20 EMA with the 50 right above us. This is a pivotal point. If we see some wicks forming here, this thing most likely wants to push down. US 500 right at the opening fair value gap. Today's Thursdays. Today is Thursday. Usually Thursdays do retrace back to Tuesday's range marked out here in the aqua line, but we are extremely, extremely bearish with a huge, huge way to go. We're getting some rejection here at the 61, near the 50. On the 1 minute, we do have a EMA crossover of the 20 and the 50. Let's see if it sticks. US 500 right at that New York gap. We've yet to get any crossover of these EMAs. This market could go either way from here. It's all about patience now. Still have a bearish bias. As mentioned before, downside expansion model under the 238, bouncing off of key levels 61, 50. This thing could push down from here, take out the bottom. Still just gesticulating. We're bouncing off the 20 now. This thing could also push up. That's why we're waiting for that confirmation. US 500 having a tough time getting over that opening gap, painted out by the indicator. Seeing a lot of wicks here. On the 5-minute, we're getting close to testing that 50 EMA. See, it's engineering new liquidity. It's getting buy and sell orders. For all the people that think it's going to push down, they're going in for a sell. All the people that see this rally to the upside, they're going in for a long. Just patiently watching still. It's about to hit that 50 EMA. US 500 still having a tough time at the opening gap. Pushing up now. Still in the golden zone. Filling in all these fair value gaps. I want to see if it gets above that 50. And whether or not we get that shift. Otherwise, this could just be testing the EMA to push down. 7 seconds left. This next candle is, we do have a gap that's formed. Let's see if this bounces off of here and just heads up. We're now above that 50. US 500, also above the opening gap. Now let's see if we get a bullish confirmation. Still in that golden zone between 79 and 61. Getting that rejection. 3 minutes left in this candle. Let's see if it wants to push down from here. Remember, these moves have to look obvious. Blatant rejections. Got 1 minute, 55 seconds left to see if this fair value gap forms. And if this thing wants to push up, it might just drop into it, shoot up, or again, it could reject, push down. That's why it's important to wait for confirmation. US 500, now testing the New York gap, the opening gap on the other side of it, the consequence encroachment. We're actually hitting the New York fair value gap on the 15-minute. We already got a confirmation on US 500. US 500 are already taken out the tops. This is the stronger of the two. So if you're looking for higher probabilities of a long, it would most likely come from US 500. Right now we're still seeing rejection. Small rejection, but still some rejection within that golden zone. No EMA crossover has happened yet. Still under the 238. On US 500, we're waiting for a retracement. NAS pushing past the golden zone there. Heading for the opening fair value gap. Get some rejection. Until we get a bullish confirmation, we are still bearish from NAS. Right now with the US 500, we do have that bullish confirmation. It's hitting to 238. The orange line. Getting some rejection from NAS now, although we are well above. There still is no crossover of the EMAs. No confirmation. On the TDI, we are well above the liquid 50, the yellow line, and the stationary 50, indicating a short-term bullish trend. Still testing the fair value gap, both the New York fair value gap and London's opening fair value gap. Extended through. Still seeing some rejection. US 500 now touching the 238. This would be a good place to see if we get that retracement. MAS still testing London's fair value gap. Getting a bit of a push down now. US 500 possibly retracing now back into the zone. If US 500 is going to push up, we want to see it come back and hit one of these key levels, either the top of the range, the opening fair value gap, the EMAs. Now slowly pushing down now. US 500 now slowly hitting that 238. Now it's pushing into this 5-minute fair value gap and the 50 EMA. Now that we're on the other side of it, we still have yet to get a crossover. Still getting that rejection. Now let's see if it wants to bounce off this 50 EMA and head back up. Still waiting for that confirmation on either side. Obviously closer to the bullish confirmation. As mentioned before, we did have a news drop today at 5:30, which I believe is right here. Market went up, filled it back in, dropped. Mark it now back into that golden zone. Getting some rejection from that fair value gap. Still stuck in this area, looking more bullish than anything. We do have a bullish confirmation of the US 500, so looking for that retracement. So ES right now, US 500, it's giving us more information than NAS is. NAS is still stuck between the golden zone and London fair value gap, New York fair value gap, below the 238. We have not taken out the tops, no confirmation. Here we've taken out the tops, we're above the 238, confirmation, waiting for that retracement. This is the better buy. Higher probability. Remember, we are here to assess probabilities. Closing in to 11:30. as mentioned before. We're going to be doing shorter streams now. If there's not a high probability of a trade setup before 11:30, we will be concluding the session. NAS once again attempting to pass the fair value gap. Slowly getting a confirmation here, 2 minutes 21 seconds. Let's see if it sticks or if it rejects. Yes, slowly pushing up. This thing could be so bullish that it might not retrace, but let's see if NAS hitting the 238 and pulling back down or rejecting off this fair value gap possibly creates a retracement for US 500. One minute left. Bouncing off the 238. Okay, so we have a bullish confirmation. Bouncing off the 238. Let's see if we get that retracement now on NAS. Still waiting for a retracement on both of them. So waiting for a a retracement. Let's clean up the charts here. So we do have a fair value gap being created, 1 minute 47 seconds. Let's see if this sticks on US 500. Same on NAS. So if this fair value gap sticks, the next candle could use this along with the other PD arrays to go long. This is a counter trend trade, which is not something that we want to eagerly jump into. Remember, we have a downside expansion model. We've been extremely bearish. We hit some key zones, some higher time frame PD arrays that shot us up. Whether or not this sticks and we suddenly become bullish, we don't know. So we want this to look obvious. If we're going to take any kind of a counter trend trade, which again, we don't recommend, this has to look obvious. We're slowly getting a crossover of the EMA, red over aqua. We like that crossover to continue. See price retrace back into it. And then see some rejection to let us know that this thing actually wants to go up. We know on Thursdays there's usually a retracement back up to Tuesday's range. But as mentioned before, that's quite a ways to go. Getting some rejection off the 238 now. Moving back into that fair value gap. We do have a crossover that happened on the EMAs right on the closing of this candle. Now let's see if this crossover sticks. If we get a retracement, rejection, and a continuation. Getting a nice retracement back into the range now. I'd like to see it hit these EMAs without seeing another crossover. See rejection here to let us know that this thing wants to go. Sitting in that fair value gap. So we got New York fair value gap, London fair value gap, and now we got another 5-minute fair value gap. Just hitting the yellow EMA, which is the 5. Maybe it wants to reject from here, but we want to see more rejections than just one candle. I still prefer to see it come down further. When you're doing a counter trend trade, something that goes against your daily bias and your session bias, and you want to see all the confluence possible. 3 rejection candles. You want to see it touch a PD array. You want to see it retrace back into a key zone. I still want to see what it does near these EMAs. It's already bounced off the 238, which is a bearish signal. Still bouncing off the London fair value gap. About 1 minute, 12 seconds left. Slowly getting that nice retracement. Still getting some rejection now. Slowly making its move down to these EMAs. Again, we want to see it come down further. Slowly getting that retracement now. where our bias is still bearish until we actually see proper rejection off of key points, off of key PD arrays. And even though we have this bullish confirmation, as mentioned before, we don't like to counter trend trade. Probabilities are low. Closing in on 8:30, or sorry, 11:30. Again, still not quite where I'd like to see it. Would have liked to seen it come back into the EMAs. We're at 11:29. We'll give it a few minutes. As mentioned before, if we're not in a trade 1 hour after the range is complete, then it's better to just pass. Getting some gesticulation around that area. Slowly looks like it's pushing down. I want to see what it does at these EMAs. We're at 11:31. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes just to see if it actually hits this on this next couple of candles. US 500 also testing the 238. This would be a good place to reject if it is going to go long, but as mentioned before, that would be a counter trend trade. Not something we're interested in. Lower probability, but still I want to see if it does reject. We do have a bullish confirmation, but this has to match the rest of your confluence in your story. Right now we have a downside expansion model. We're below the 238. We're rejecting off the 238. We have a red box. I want to see what it does at these EMAs. If it disrespects these EMAs, or if it rejects off of them. If it pushes right through them, then bounces off the other side, the trend will continue. We get a lot of gesticulation here. We already got a crossover. So if this does not cross back, we get a lot of gesticulation happening here, a lot of rejection. It will most likely push up. close to the EMAs, slowing down. One minute 30 seconds to this candle close. So all these candles are rejecting within this fair value gap. We have 1, 2, 3. Still would like to see what it does here. We are getting rejection in that zone. But we're also bouncing off the London fair value gap and the 238. That's why I'd like to see it go a little bit lower, especially since the trend is bearish. And again, if it pushes up from here and it leaves without us, that's okay. You have this much confluence going against the confirmation. You want to make sure that it's hitting key points, key zones. I want to see it tap these EMAs. I want to see how it interacts. US 500 still above 238. Also pretty close to the 20 EMA. Still just hovering in that area, bouncing off the London fair value gap. Might want to take out these lows, tap this, Again, we want this to look obvious. Keep in mind, we're still on the other side of that consequence encroachment as well, of this fair value gap. Even though it does look like it wants to push, I still need to see it take out these lows, tap this, which I'm not sure if we're going to get. It's already 11:40. So we will be concluding today's session. Thanks for joining us. Again, our goal is to be in trades by 11:30 and then be managing them going into lunchtime and possibly jumping out before lunch. But right now, kind of just gesticulating between these two zones. But again, thanks for joining us. This has been Fractal Effects live sessions. We're live, we're live Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 10:30 to 11:30 and all the way possibly to lunch. So we will see you next week. Please check us out at fractaleffects.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you know when we're live, and have a great rest of the day.